Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at all the new cards that were just revealed within like the past few hours, as of like recording this video, of course. Still gotta upload it. So just want to take a look at all these new cards. We've got Ice Rider Calyrex Vmax, Shadow Rider Calyrex Vmax, and then of course the V's. We've got Chrysalia, Melania, Fog Crystal, Path to the Beacon, Old Cemetery. I think every one of these cards could potentially have an impact on the metagame when they come out. So I just want to take a look at them, just talk about like what they could potentially be used for, how good they are, yeah, and just like think about like how they can be used in decks. So firstly, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ice Rider Calyrex V. So that's gonna the V by itself seems pretty bad. Glacial Lanch is gonna take out stuff like Victini Vmax, Centus Scorch Vmax in one hit, which is pretty solid, I guess. 200 is still gonna come up short on a lot of stuff, unfortunately. So the V by itself probably won't be making a huge splash. Discarding 2 energy isn't ideal, but you probably get Return No Code anyways, so I don't think this by itself is going to be a deck. However, the Vmax definitely seems a lot better. So we've got Imperial Steed, 10 plus, 30 more for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So this is kind of reminiscent of the stand-in Zork from, I believe, Breakthrough, which had the same attack. So sometimes you could be hitting up to 160 with it, which isn't bad. I guess in Expanded you can use double colorless energy. In Standard we have the Melanie, which we'll actually be going over in a minute, which was just revealed. So this can hit a maximum of 160 or against Eternatus 250 damage. I think the second attack is almost always going to be better. This can be played around. I don't think the first attack by itself is going to be anything crazy. For 2 water energy, we got Max Lance, so you can discard up to 2 energy from it. It does 20 more for each energy discarded from it. Okay, so that's a maximum of 250 as well. So that just really does not dish out very much damage. You can recharge it every turn with Melanie, of course. But I think it's kind of underwhelming maxing out at 250, discarding your energy, being weak to Zacian. I guess it's okay. I feel like there are better VMAX Pokemon, but I think there will definitely be decks built around it, and it's a pretty solid VMAX overall. So yeah, for these, I think they have a decent chance to be good in the metagame, but let's take a look at the Shadow Rider Calyrex. So for the V, nothing special here. Your opponent can't play any special energy cards or stadium cards. So for example, if you're paired against something that only uses like special energy, and you end up going second, they miss like terminal attachment, or they miss an attachment that could allow them to attack. Yes, you can just use Shadow Mist, and they can't play any special energies or stadiums. That could be solid. Say, against something like Spiritomb, you can prevent them from putting Spike Mud down, but I guess, like, you're weak to Dark, so that's still not great. Of course, being weak to Eternatus is not ideal, but, still a decent card. And then Astral Barrage is, like, fine. It's a decent spread attack, but the 3 energy cost just is not super easy to deal with. Of course, the Vmax is actually insane, though. We've got, once during your turn, you can attach a Psychic Energy card from your hand to your one of your bench Psychic Pokemon, then draw 2. That's absolutely ridiculous, to be fair. Of course, you can attach it to another Shadow Rider Calyrex Vmax, and then the trade effect as well. Drawing 2 cards is insanely good. And then the attack is not bad on its own. So just doing the math here a little bit. For 3 energy, supposing that they're all psychic, that's going to be 100 damage. Use the ability once or twice, you're up to 160. Maybe just like attach another tie, 190. It does not build up super fast, but it can definitely get kind of crazy if you use like some combination of Crysalia, like maybe Turbo Patch, and then of course the ability, which I'm sure will be changed, though the name of the ability sounds quite cool as it is now. But I think this card is going to be fantastic as a support Pokemon, or just as a deck on its own. I think it's really solid. You can probably get 2 shots on anything, occasionally 1 shots. So this card is insanely good. Taking a look at Crysalia here, it's basically just Volcanion. If you have 5 or more energy in play, it does 90 more damage. So that's 120, which is a lot better than 110, because it actually gets math on stuff like opposing Crysalias and Volcanions. It's just a lot better overall. You can OHKO on Baby Blacephalon. There's just a lot of stuff you can take out here. So, yeah, that's the Crysalia. Search your deck for 3 Psychic Energy if you're voting second at your first turn. So let's say you can like attach. Supposing your Crysalia lives going second, right? Which is somewhat unlikely. So you can get like 4 or 5. You can get like, realistically, you can get like 6 or 7 energy on board for this. Like turn 2, which is pretty crazy. So like 7 energy, that would be 220 damage, which is going to be enough for an OHKO on Zacian V, Centiskorch V, Boltund V, Eternatus V, pretty much any relevant V Pokemon you can take out. So this is definitely going to be at least 1 or 2 of in Shadow Rider Calyrex decks. This by itself could just allow for like a Greens Trevnor deck to emerge, especially with some of the stuff later here. Okay, so on to Melanie, first trainer card. We can attach a Water Energy from our discard pile to one of our Pokemon V, then draw 3 cards. So this seems like kind of like Welder, but also very different. So we get 1 water energy, so it needs to be water, from our discard to one of our Pokemon V, any Pokemon V. And then we get to draw 3 cards, which is pretty solid. Okay, so we can do stuff like attach to this or this, charge this up in 1 turn, so you can do like 250 multiple turns in a row, which is pretty solid, I guess. And then you also get to draw 3 cards, which is pretty solid. This card is it's really good, I think. Definitely could be used to charge up some random stuff that attacks for colorless energy, maybe. It seems solid that there's not really any reason to omit it from your water decks that use Pokemon V. So that seems pretty solid. You can use it like Blastoise Vmax, I guess. That's a promo that's out right now. I think that definitely is like a possible use for it. I don't think it's like better than Frostmoth because you only get 1 energy. If it was 2 energy, it would be absolutely busted. Like Lapras VMAX would just be better. Centiskorch VMAX. But it is only 1 energy. So that's definitely not as good as Welder. Drawing 3 cards is great. But I think it's a pretty solid card, will be played in water decks. Fog Crystal. So this is just Psychic support. You can search your deck for a basic Psychic Pokemon or Psychic Energy and put it into it. Okay, so that's not going to find like Horror Energy or anything. So it has to be a basic energy because that's the only thing that provides Psychic Energy before it's on the field. So basic Psychic Pokemon, we can actually just get, we can use that to get like either Crysalia or an Energy, whatever we don't have. We can use it to get Shadow Rider Calyrex V. I think there's no reason to not play this as a 4 of in like Crysalia Calyrex decks. Like Spectre. So yeah, I think this card is fantastic. There's no reason to not play it. Like, if you have like a greens Trevnor Crystalia deck or something, this is going to be really useful for finding your stuff or something. I think there's no reason to not play this in Psychic decks. It seems really solid. Yeah, there really is no reason to not play it. Path to the Peak. Okay, so this is a very interesting card for sure. Each player's Pokemon in play with a rule box has no abilities, so that means Prism Stars, GXs, Vs, and expanded we got like EXs. Anything with a rule box, so anything that gives up multiple prizes, like Prism Stars, anything that is not just like a normal card has no abilities. So that means Dedenne is getting shut down, Crobat's getting shut down, Zacian's getting shut down, Coco Prism is getting shut down. So many things are just not going to work here. So I think this card might be a little bit overpowered, because, especially in a format with Marnie, you can just go like Marnie, Path to the Peak, and then use like Trevenant and Dusknoir or something. And they can just do so little. They basically either have to have stuff they can do stuff with on their board already, or they have to draw supporter. So I think this is definitely going to be an insanely good card. A lot of decks are going to run this for disruption. Okay, and lastly, Old Cemetery. Whenever a player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, excluding Psychic Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So I think this is definitely intended for like the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX decks, because when you attach to your Pokemon, you don't take damage, but whenever your opponent attaches energy, they do. Potentially in like a heavy energy denial, like use Crushing Hammer, Fan of Waves deck. I guess this could be solid, just get some extra damage down, so like Shadow Rider Calyrex can start hitting those higher numbers, get up to like be able to KO tag teams in one hit. I think tag teams are probably going to be rotated by the time this set comes out though. So yeah, it should be able to KO Vs very easily and stuff. I think 2 damage counters is kind of underwhelming, but it will be good. Welder, of course, like won't be legal or anything, and it doesn't work for stuff like Metal Saucer. So I don't think it'll be that good, but it's definitely a solid stadium. All these cards getting revealed, I think all of these cards are going to have a pretty solid impact on the meta. They're very good, a lot of them at least. A lot of people are saying that this card is bad for the game. In combination with like Marnie, it's just bad, and it will lead to a lot of bad games, especially just playing this down turn 1. You go first, you use this, your opponent doesn't have a counter stadium, and you will just lose. You can't Dead Change, you can't Intrepid Sword, you can't use Crobat V, there's just nothing you can do. So that is definitely gonna be an interesting card for sure. So this, I think, is definitely the weaker of the two VMAXs. This ability is broken. It will be played either on its own or with cards like Trevenant and Dusknoir or something. I don't even know. This is absolutely busted. I'm not really sure like what good Psychic types there are and will be, but definitely seems very good. And of course, like Chilling Rain, our next set, Calyrex. Yeah. And then we just got Urshifu and Battle Styles, so like Urshifu, Calyrex, and then like Spectre and Glacier. So yeah, that's my review of the cards so far. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, check out all the links in the description. Really does help us out. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.